Bill.
Hello.
Bill Rose. My name's Laurence.
My name is Bill Rose.
You're Bill Rose.
Yeah.
And we're going to make a sculpture of you today for the Doncaster Mining Celebration statue. And you are a miner, or were a miner.
Were.
So where were you? Where did you serve out your time?
Markham Main Armthorpe.
Markham Main Armthorpe.
Do you want the date when I started?
Yeah, please just tell us about
it. The 3rd of May 1957.
Good Lord, really?
Yeah. I lived in Armthorpe for 3 years before I came to Doncaster, in the town area.
Right. So where were you before that?
Nottingham.
Nottingham.
Oh, right. I'll start.
Start with your life.
I was born in Jamaica.
You're born in Jamaica?
Yeah.
Okay.
26 July 1937.
Do you know what? My birthday's on the 27th of July.
Yeah.
1937.
37. Yeah. And I came to England 1956. I was working at COD Chilwell. That's the army place, COD Chilwell.
So why did you come from Jamaica in the first place?
Well, I came, two things. My brothers were here, and job security were better here, right, from what I was informed by my brothers. So that's the main reason.
Okay.
And
so your family didn't come, your parents didn't come?
No, just my elder brothers were here. And the next, why I came to the mine, they were in the mines. They were
really?
Working in the mines. So I naturally just followed them.
Right. And so you moved to Nottingham straight away?
From Nottingham. I spent the first year in Nottingham, and then I came to Doncaster. And started at Markham Main Armthorpe.
And what happened there? Did you obviously trained?
Yeah. Yes. You spend, you go through a process of 3 weeks. First 3 weeks, knowing the do's and don'ts about the mine. And that's where I started. Then you went into coalface. You do a term on knowledge, then you go into I went into coalface, and spent, I think it might be about 12 years on face, doing various jobs, ripping, coal filling. But I eventually, what got me out of the pit, when mechanization started and all the dust, I got chesty, so I came out of the pit and worked in surface. I worked on various jobs for 5 years, and then I went winding.
That's on the wheel at the top?
Yeah. That's very responsible job.
Right.
I did that for 12 years.
And that's operating the cage or the...
Yeah, the cage, yeah. So I did that for 12 years.
And what does that entail?
Well, it entails taking men up and down the shaft, and also the coal. As you know, there's 2 shafts, and you've got to be able to operate because they both were different, and you've got to be able to operate both shafts.
And that involves... So what is it? What does operating the wheel involve? Are you in a house, engine house, with a load of buttons?
You're in the engine house. First, when I started, it was steam engine, and then I went over to electrical engine, so it was all electric, and it was easier than steam because most of the things were sort of done for you, were worked out for you. Where in steam, you've got to control it.
Gosh. And the training for that?
Took me 6 months, but it varies because I've seen people it takes above a year.
Really?
But it just depends how adaptable you are to.
So what's the difficulty? I mean, why is it such a skilled job?
Right, we'll start with the steam engine because that's what I learned on. If you think the power, the amount of steam that you have to control, and that depends on the speed which that wheel will spin. So I would say in the morning when you first started, you would have a great amount of steam, but once you start working, you pull that amount down.
Okay.
So it takes a lot of time for you to, because there's no, like a speedometer, you haven't got that. You've got to watch the wheel and judge the speed that it's going at. And for any time, the first half of you've got to dial, and for the first half, you can put as much speed as you want. But coming in, you'll have to be slowing down all the way in, or it'll trip out. So you can just, so it's something that you got to sort of work out. But after a while, you're able to see it and judge the speed correctly. And there's two different, if you're doing coal, which is like two different gears. If you're doing coal, then you put it into coal. If you're doing men, then you've got to change it over, which is speed is a lot slower when you're doing men than when you're doing coal.
And it's not the same shaft, is it, that you're using?
The same shaft, they do both coal and men. When I first started, because it's like 3 different sections. You see, when I first started, number 1 shaft, they would just do coal. But it's, you've got a part for men, should in case of emergency, men would ride from number 1. But number 2 was the main shaft for men riding.
Right. Gosh.
And as to when I first started and down the pit and doing filling coal, we go the seams were different by up to 12 inches or maybe more, because I started where the seam was about 5 foot thick to where we were taking about 6 foot odd out. So that was when they went to Barnsley. That was completely different to where we first started.
So 1956?
That's when I came here.
And so you started in the pit in
57. 57 May, the 3rd of May.
Good God. And so you in pit pony world then?
Yeah. Yeah, you've got, during that first 3 weeks training, you had show you how to handle ponies and all the rest of that, yeah. But they never really used pony while I was in arms. Well, I've never used it, but you were told how to do it, shown how to do it, so.
And that was more about how to manhandle them or how to care for them? Or
how to care for them. And the ponies sometimes were even more knowledgeable than you were. They knew exactly what they were doing. Yeah. And you're down every holiday time, because they used to have a 2 weeks holiday in July. I think a week. Well, you used to have your holiday in July, so they used to take the ponies out of the pit.
Yeah.
and they used to have to blindfold them when they take
Wow.
the, put, because they light, because
Yeah.
they're down there all the time, and the light when they come up.
I know it's slowly phased out at Armthorpe. When was that?
Is it 87?
87?
Yeah.
Oh, no, the pit, but what about the ponies?
I don't know exactly the time when they finished. I can remember one it was an overman, and he was saying, he says, once had children down the pit, and they said it was too dangerous, so they took children out. Women were working down the pit. They said it's too dangerous, so they took women out, but they left men down there. Sammy Moore.
Did you enjoy it as a way of?
Yes.
Was it your career of choice?
Well, you see, once you go down, camaraderie that you had with your mates, you were actually looking forward to go down every day.
Really?
And it becomes a way of life, and you that. A matter of fact, I know at one time I did not think I could. I wanted to do anything else
Really?
than be a miner. Yeah, I look forward to it. The jokes that the miners has between them, I don't think any other group of people were like that. Very nice.
And you were on the face most of the time.
Yeah,
While you were down,
I spent, I think about 12 years on the face.
Wow.
With various different faces, doing different jobs between filling coal, or I did a little bit of ripping. Sometimes you do different jobs, which if there's somebody that's short, and if you're not on a regular face, what we call a market man. You're up for anything,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you weren't a market man very often, or?
Biggest part of the time I was on a regular face. Yeah. It's just the odd occasion when, if my face is not working, and you've got to, sort of more or less go around shopping for job.
Yeah. So did you want to come out from because of what was your lung problem? It was
A big one.
What was your lung problem? You had a problem with your lungs from the.
I had chest dust, so the doctor advised me to come out of the pit. So I went to Sheffield to a rehabilitation center.
Really?
Because this is what I was saying. Once you're a miner, you have a mindset, and you think you can't do anything other than mining. But once I went to Sheffield, and you get talking, you can see the other side of the coin, you see, and it was easier for me when I can remember I got very used to one of the under manager, and he actually says to me, because I was going to leave the industry, and he says to me, if I go on do plumbing, learn another skill, they would employ me, see. But when I went to Sheffield, I really wanted to do milling, but he says to me, he says, no, he says, if you do plumbing, he says, we can employ you, so you can still stay in the industry. So that's what I had in mind. Then this other job came up, and I just stayed in and turned my attention to it, and I liked it, so that was that.
Yeah. And So then you get to the kind of strike, I suppose. You on the strikes and the
84, 85.
84, 85?
Yeah, yeah. I was winding at the time.
So that's quite key, isn't it? So you have to stop. I mean, because what about I suppose what about if you get people that are strike breakers, you're putting them down. Are you actively putting them down, or?
No, it was the management. The management did that.
So they operated the shaft.
Yeah, yeah, because you know the deputies and overmen and people like that, people who was in management, they weren't on strike.
Yeah.
Mm. So as you do know, well, I don't know if you do know, but the shaft got to be examined every 24 hours. You know,
Yes.
so therefore, people got to be there to do such job.
So you could have keep. So I mean, it's a responsibility of a load of people to keep the mine safe. So
Yeah.
if, when you do go back to work.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's no good destroying it because you're only doing yourself harm. Then.
Yeah. And how did you fare through the strike? Did you, as a family?
Well, at the time, you got to more or less live off what you had, and well, my wife was working at the time, so you know it helps.
So your wife worked.
Yeah.
Was Armthorpe quite a militant foundry, or
Very.
mine?
Armthorpe, I would say, was one of the most militant in Doncaster,
Yeah.
because I can remember when people from Wales and wherever they come from and they were having problem with their pitch, they only need to come to Armthorpe and they would be in sympathy.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
So the troublemakers from the other pits.
Not troublemaker. If they're in any difficulty, they're not troublemakers. They're in any difficulty and they come seeking support.
Really?
Yeah. I can remember they come from as far as Wales.
What sort of support they mean?
Well, you see, the support is what happened. We refused to work. We just come out of it, you know, until it's settled. Then you're out. You're out in strike.
Yeah. So these sort of Welsh miners who were on strike would come down.
Yeah, wherever they are, and if they're on strike, they go to other pits to seek the support. You see, and really around Doncaster, they're very good at helping out other places. I can remember just trying to think the year now when the nurses, if you might not know this, but they were badly paid, and the nurses and doctors wouldn't be able to go on strike.
Yes.
But the miners, the NUM, took it over, and they were ready to go out in strike to support their pay.
Really?
And oh yes. I
So it's
think
like proxy strike.
That's in the 70s. All that happens.
God,
Yeah.
so
The miners were very strong in the 50s and 60s. You know, it's nearly what they say goes.
yeah, had a lot of power.
Yeah. Because you see, then when I first started, I didn't realize that the country was really built and run on coal.
Yeah.
They used to say King Coal.
Yeah.
So now that I'm out of the pit, and I started thinking, you know, because I become an ordinary person.
Yeah.
Person again. You don't see things in the same light as I did when I was down there.
Yeah. Absolutely. You're a normal person. I mean, how was it like? It's like coming out on Civvy Street. What's it like?
Yeah, that's exactly between, because I've got family, two of my kids, they were in the army, and I've got nephews and nieces that's in the army. So I can see the picture how different things is. I can remember my son going into the army, and you know that first 3 months. And when I saw him, I can hear this bloke says, you know, you'll see your own child and you don't know them. They're completely different.
Really?
The mindset is different. And it's the same thing when you go down the mine. I mean, I didn't realize that until after I finished that it's so different. You think different.
How do you think different? What's the difference?
Well, right. This is exactly what I just said before. If just say there's a fire down the pit.
Yes.
The ordinary you, I'll just say you then, wouldn't want to go up there and go down the pit.
No.
Yet when I was working, I'll be
First one.
straight up there, and I wouldn't think twice whether I want to go down or not. See, and that's different.
Kind of loyalty. Kind of. Were you very, very aware of danger in a sense of?
You mean down the pit?
I mean, was it something? I mean, I know you got used to it, but did you think about it in a sense of?
You don't think about it. When I first started, because what I found out, you develop senses, like say your hearing senses, becomes more acute. Because I can remember, this is what you look out for. They teach you certain things you look out for. Right, you've got your ceiling, right? And just a little bit of muck, just like that, trickles. You see a little bit of muck trickles, you know, it's going to be a great big fall after. That trickles. So this, you start thinking, and you hear something, and you look. See, all these things, you're more sensitive to all these things.
Yeah.
Wherein, if I'm in here now, right, it's automatic, like your home.
Yeah.
I come to your home, and somebody rings your bell or somebody says something in your home, you hear it and I don't hear it.
Yes.
It's acute to your own home, and it's same thing, you take that down the pit.
So, did your wife come from Jamaica as well?
Yeah.
Were you married? You weren't obviously. You weren't.
Yeah.
You were married here. Did you meet her here, or did you meet her in Jamaica?
Yeah.
So, is there a big Jamaican community
In Doncaster?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair, but at the time it wasn't. But you know, comparing with this big town and cities, you know, it's small.
So, did you socialise more as a miner, or with more? Did you look for? Was there like a Jamaican community?
Well, because wherever you go in Doncaster, it's not like now.
Right, Bill.
Thank
Fresh
you very
coffee.
much. Thank you. It's not like now. If you stop to think, whichever area you go to, it would be a mining area. If you go to Rossington, it's a mining area. Armthorpe's a mining area. Bentley's a mining area. Wherever you go, it's a mining area you go to. And the miners, we used to have like a welfare center. You know, we have our own clubs and things like that. You know, you more or less say on a weekend, we used to find ourselves at the mining clubs.
Right. In whatever town you went to, you could mix as miners, and there was never a problem.
Yeah. No.
You were that community wasn't the rivalry between mines wasn't that strong.
No.
Was there competition?
No.
Was there productivity competition? Were people prouder?
The only thing that we used to have is because they used to have cricket team
All right.
and boxing, weightlifting, things like that. So, you know, you'd when you're, say, boxing, you'll be fighting somebody from another
Right.
area or colliery or whatsoever.
Were you ever one of those? Were you a sportsman?
Oh yeah, yeah.
What did you play?
I used to be in boxing.
Did you? Really?
Yeah.
Were you a champion?
No, I
Mine-
did it.
the-
I did it for more keep fit
Yeah.
sort of thing because sir, I used to be a big fan of keep fit. I used to go run 3, 4, 5 miles in the morning before I go to work.
You're joking.
Oh yeah.
You're a madman.
I was fit.
Really?
Oh, I was fit. Trust me.
Why did you? Why?
No,
Why would you want to be obsessed with that? Was
Oh.
was you thinking about your health, or were you just thinking about just enjoying it?
Well, I enjoy that sort of thing. I like to be fit. If I should show you,
Let me just take your cup. I'll put it on this table.
you're right. I see if I can.
You're not going to get your muscles out.
No, I wouldn't. See, all here
You go on.
got stretch mark like a lady. You know, a lady that has kids.
Let's have a look.
I've got stretch mark.
Well, what's all that about then?
Huh?
What's all that about? For when you have big muscles?
Yeah.
Really?
If you, I think it's gone from the museum now. But there was a picture of me at the museum.
Really?
Around, oh yeah. It must have been there for, I know it's there for more than 3 months. It might have gone from there now.
As a boxer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stretch mark.
Yeah.
You know, at one time, you squeeze this, it would be like squeezing this.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't annoy him, Laurence.
No, just,
because-
I'm just want to make this better looking now.
If you look, say, on the chest, that would be about 46 inches.
Really?
The waist was only 28 inches.
You're joking.
It's right, trust me. I could bring a photo and show you.
Yeah.
We must be able to Google this, surely.
To what age were you fighting to?
Once I start having a family, I thought, you know, it's so more or less concentrated and family issues. So, but I mean, as it says, fitness. I like doing.
Do you keep fit now?
No, and it's just because, pardon me, since I come out of pit, I get chesty for, you know, once you start, so because of that I don't much go into
Exercise.
exercising. Boy, at one time, every day I used to take exercise. I used to walk, I used to run. And like in the 50s, late 50s, early 60s, and that time it's several tons of coal per day you used to shovel.
Really?
Yeah. So it never. I mean, I could guarantee I could shovel at speed. If you stop to think, a conveyor belt, the way a conveyor belt is running, that's what you shovel the coal onto. And I could shovel at a speed that each shovelful catches the other.
Bloody hell. Before it lands.
You know the conveyor belt's
Yeah, yeah.
going, and I could shovel, and each shovelful would be catching the other one.
Jesus.
Oh, we could. I've seen us working and in less than no time. Couple of hours. I could work continuously, shovel continuously for a couple of hours, and I wouldn't feel. That's why I said that I could go and run 3-4 miles in the morning before I go to work.
God. Was that your main sport, boxing?
Yeah. I love other sports, especially like cricket, and I wasn't so keen. It's only since my sons were doing football and things, but before it was only cricket and boxing. I like watching wrestling and things
Yeah.
like that. But other than that, those were my main sports.
So your sons are pretty sporty.
Yeah. Yeah, football, mainly football.
Yeah. How many sons have you got?
Two
Two sons.
sons, 2 daughters.
So did you live in mining houses? I mean, mining cottages and stuff? when you
No,
first started?
no. Well, when I started in Armthorpe, I lived with a friend, and he was living in a mine, because all the houses in Armthorpe at that time, or nearly 95% of the houses, there was only a few private houses there in the 50s when I went there. So I lived with him for, 2.5, 3 years, 3 years. Then I came to, I live in apartment, rented accommodation, and then I bought my own house in 62. Yeah,
Was that easy to do?
difficult.
Was it?
Great, yes.
In what way? Financially or?
Well, couple of reasons. It was very difficult to get a mortgage, for a black person to get a mortgage in the 60s was difficult.
Why was that?
Well, all obstacles were put in your way. I remember I had to pay a third of the value of the house to
Gee.
get a mortgage.
And a normal thing was 10%?
Right. And when I sold it, the bloke, I had to pay £600 when that £600 in 1962 was a lot of money.
Yeah.
And when I sold it, the bloke who sold it to, he paid £250. That's years after. That would be
Wow.
70, I forget, 71, 75, 74, 75.
Gosh.
Yes. Yeah. So that's the difference. And you also, and plus, there was an estate agent. And you see, first, and I'm only talking about myself now, but it happens to other people. When you go to his place, if he's got a house, because I tried to get a house at Townmore, and he sort of said to me, and I thought he was helping me, because he says, "Oh, son, you don't want to get a house like that because you've got this to pay and that to pay." He didn't ask me if I've got the money, because I was working good money at the time because we were on cold faces. Anyway, when was it now? Then I went to Benetton. I went back to him, same thing. Then I went, because I always wanted a house near the park. because I always looking forward that if I have children, I'm near the park. So I went into Checker Road, because you got a house there that backs onto the park. And so I went to him, and he says to me, he says, "Oh, I've got some houses here in Waterdale," and that time, where Young Street, Young Street. It's other side of where the theater is now. He says, "I've got some houses there, and there's some in Bentley." So I could see what he was sending me, where he was sending me. That's why right now in Doncaster, you've got the biggest population of black people in Bentley and places like that, you see. They were sent there. Most of them were sent there. Anyway,
it was kind of organised through estate agencies.
Yeah.
Kind of communities were almost built.
Yeah. So anyway, after I found that out, I did not go back to any houses that he's selling, So I went somewhere else and got a house, but still there was...
So that was one particular estate. It wasn't a general thing across.
No, it wasn't a general thing, but still there was a lot of, as I tried to explain about the mortgage, I'm sure by saying, "Oh, you've got to put X, Y, Z amount of money down," it was another way of, saying because as I say, it's near enough a third. I had to put down.
But you managed it.
Oh yeah, it was. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. How much longer do you think it took to get your house than it would have done if you had the other room?
No, I had the money then.
You
see, maybe that's where, because as I says, it's not many people then that had £600 in their hand. So maybe by saying to me, "You've got to put £600 down," it was nearly like a deterrent.
Yeah.
You see, it's strange, because I remember going to this bloke, and he says, "I went to draw some money from the bank." And I says, "Mr. Rose, why are you using your money? Why not borrow some money from us?" I says, "Oh, that's a good idea." I says, "If I can borrow it at the same rate that you're giving me," I says, "I'll borrow yours." He said, "No, we can't do that." That's an American way, because they save their money and borrow.
Sorry, they save their money and borrow the rest.
They'll keep their money in the bank and borrow from somebody else, and I think that's stupid.
Yeah.
So is this wax? Is it beeswax? Or?
No, it's kind of a paraffin wax. It's kind of like a petroleum wax.
Oh. So don't it in time do anything to your?
I don't know.
You're a guinea pig.
I don't think many people do this. I don't know. It's not the sort of thing. I need 3 hands. And it never goes in your teeth.
Oh.
But it's funny because that is the wrong size for what I want. This is your corner of your lip here. I'm that is all right. So then I roll it up, get my nice lozenge, and then I can apply it to it.
Oh.
I'm going to smooth you out. The last 5 minutes I smooth you out, so don't worry too much.
Mhm.
Some people you don't need to smooth out because they're so damn wrinkly.
Maybe another 10 years time I'll be as...
How old are you? Well, you're 37. Yeah, you were born in 37.
Yeah,
So you're
I'm
82.
82. I'll be 82 in July.
Wow. So what do you do now as a life? How do you occupy yourself now?
Well, I spend my days doing different things, and one of the main things that I do now, because I'll be doing that in another couple of hours time when I leave here, playing dominoes.
Oh, really? In a club or a pub?
Club.
Dominoes club?
Yeah, well, I mainly go to, Bentley West End Club.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go around there and play with my mates. Well, like today I'll go up to Extop, the church hall there, where over 60 men meet.
Really?
Yeah, so I'll go there and spend a couple hours.
Is your wife still around?
No, she died.
A while ago, or?
Yeah. So I'll do that, and it, you see, different days, we've got like every other day, I've got a free day, like yesterday, Tuesday, that's a free day. But today I've got plans for Wednesdays, Thursday's a free day, which I can do anything. And Friday I go and play dominoes. Saturday is a free day. Sunday I go and play dominoes. So I look forward to it.
Is there skill to dominoes?
Yeah, I play at high level sometime.
High level?
Yeah, I used to play. I used to be like 5 and 3s. If it's, you know about dominoes?
Well, I know. I played dominoes. Yeah.
Yeah, you play 5 and 3s.
What's that?
That's one which, right, how you score it, you've got to score it, you add the two ends. Say I drop double 6, so 3 into 12 goes 4 times, so you'd score 4. But if somebody else put 6-3 on it, that 12 and the 3 at this end is 15. And 5 into 15 goes 3. So 3, you would have 8.
Right.
So you score it and you've got a pegboard, and that's how you score it. So that's, I used to represent Intake Club doing that. But the ordinary domino, we used to have a domino team,
Right.
which we used to play go away every like 3 weeks. We would have gone places like Bradford, Bolton,
Really?
Liverpool, Leeds, Huddersfield. We used to go all over and play. And as friendly, we used to go like to London. We won the British Airways Cup.
Really?
Yeah, that's at Manchester. So, we used to play very competitive domino. Well, they all have the pitfalls. That's good, isn't it?
Hey! Ka-ching!
Can't get on the puns. I can't stop once I start. I can't get involved with this. Otherwise, I'll be picking my brain for the rest of the day.
Was that an attempt at one I missed?
No, that was one.
Oh, right, sorry. Fell on fallow ears.
Your ears are trained for the pit lingo now, so you'd be on nudge rather than pick.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's amazing how much terminology comes into mine. I learnt when I was down the cap house, like keeping the trap shut was all about keeping the door, traps shut in the shafts.
That's mad, isn't
Yeah.
it? What were the traps for? The airflow?
Well, in the Victorian times, there were. Yeah, you had. What? Did you have a trap door to go through from one
Yeah,
compartment to the other?
yeah, you see, you've got door, right, say this, you come through that door, to go through that, you've got to shut that before it can open that. It won't, you can't open it.
Because of the air pressure.
Yeah, the pressure. Once you shut that, that opens easy.
Do you want me to sit here for a minute? That's probably-
Yeah. You're moving your head.
Then we can talk and you stay looking at me.
Oh yeah, 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 I
You're
like
following
to,
me and Laurence is doing
yeah, I like to look at who I'm talking to. Well, it's only it's only natural that, you
Yeah.
know, you like to.
Try not to get your suit dirty.
Oh, all right.
Did you dress up posh, or do you usually wear shorts and jeans, or is this your daily attire?
I don't wear jeans. That's something I don't wear. I don't wear jeans. Mainly, I'm like this.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
New glasses definitely make you look more artistic, Laurence.
Forgot I had them on. I've been trying to. I'm too vain. I don't like the glasses on. Not for prosperity, what we call it. This light is very flattening at the front.
Do you want me to drop them off?
Can you tone them down a bit?
Can we do
Just
that,
the front?
Simon? Can we turn the lights down?
What did your parents do? He wasn't a sculptor, was he?
No. That's farming.
Farmer. What did they farm in?
Sugarcane,
Sugarcane.
ginger, yams.
Big
potatoes.
farm, or?
Well, it just depends what's big.
Yeah.
Comparing to the, it was medium.
And so you worked on that farm, obviously, when you were a kid. What sort of work was that? Harvesting?
Well,
or-
helping out, yeah, mainly harvesting. Hard work.
Yeah. Harder than mining.
Yeah.
Really?
Because
Really?
sugarcane is hard.
Is it? Why is it hard?
Because it's, to explain to you, it's, it can get cuts and bumps and bruises if you know, working in it.
So the process of cutting sugarcane, is that
Yeah.
all day long?
That's exactly what
And how much?
back breaking.
Is it?
It's similar to mining, back breaking.
And how long does the harvest season last?
About 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah, it starts in January. I mean, they'll now, as we speak, they'll be doing that while June.
God. Blimey. And how many people will be How many people will be working on the farm? Sorry.
Well, it just depends on the day, the amount of lorry loads of cane that they're supposed to do. So it varies.
Is it mechanised now?
I beg pardon?
Is it mechanised?
Yeah, compared to when I was there, because everything that I did then was manual. But now when I went back last time, it was completely different. Completely different to when I was there. When I had anything to do with it.
Yeah. So you haven't been. How long was it before you went back after you came here?
9 years. I went back 9 years, then another 9 years. So in 18 years, I went back twice, and I didn't go back again for 37 years. But the last, from 2013, I go back every year.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that? Just because you
It's
can?
just because I should have been there now, as we speak.
Really?
Yeah.
Are we honoured?
Yeah, I should have been there. I should have gone out on the 13th. But, I bet it's hello? Hello?
It's not a long conversation because I'll tell you what, it'll be in. I like the music.
I think you should have had a notice there. Please turn your phone off.
I should have showed you the emergency exit.
It would give me a good excuse. Do you think you could do this from memory?
No. You're hoping, eh? Come back for replay. I do heads, imaginary heads all the time,
Oh.
but I don't do portraits from my own memory. I suppose you should call that a day.
Yeah, it is 2 o'clock. Yeah, I'll be it.
Hello. Hi, sir. Hi. Hi.
You
Yeah,
are?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm
Yeah.
down. I'm down at the college. I've been. Yeah. Yeah.